All right, so you have your Docker desktop environment all set up on the computer at this point, and we're going to install our first container. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. We're actually going to do it two different ways, but we're going to install Portainer, okay? And Portainer, what it does is it gives you a nice user interface, or GUI or GUI user interface. Docker desktop has it as well, has this GUI, but Portainer is just so much better, so much easier to use, okay? And so much easier to manage your containers. So, that being said, we're actually going to do it from PowerShell right here, okay? So, if we come over here to the Portainer documentation, which is linked below this video, you can see there is a code right here that you can run. I'm going to actually open mine up, and this is what I've got. And the reason I'm doing this is mine's slightly different. So the difference between the official one and mine is that we have a port 9000 and we have restart unless stopped. Otherwise, it's the same command. You can use whatever you want. This one works better when you're doing it locally and you're not trying to set up like an SSL web service, okay? So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up our PowerShell and we're going to paste the command in. Now, if everything's set up right, what this is going to do is it's going to run this command. It's going to open up these ports at our local host. It's going to start it. It's going to put in some variables, and it's going to download the Portainer image, the latest version. All right? And now what I want you to see here is that right now you don't have any images, no containers, no volumes, no builds. Okay? You're going to see how this changes. So we're going to go ahead, paste this in, and run it. So what it's doing right now is it's downloading and pulling the latest Portainer image. We're going to go ahead and say allow to Docker, and it's up. So if that worked, yeah, look at that. See that? Inside of Docker Desktop, we have a container, we have an image, we have a volume, no builds yet. Okay? So now you can see how things are populating here. All right? Now you can look and see all kinds of information with things like Docker ls. I think you want to do Docker container ls maybe. There you go. And you can see the container is up and running right there. Okay. All right. So how do you access Portainer now that you have it up and running? So some of this has got a lot of overlap in multiple ways of doing the same thing. Okay. So we're going to try this one first. A lot of times you can go right here inside of Docker Desktop and you can do localhost at your port number. So I'm going to click this and we're going to just see if it opens. Sure enough, it does. Okay. So since this is the first time we're accessing Portainer, what you're going to see is we're going to create our own account. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a password. Okay. Something real simple that I know. All right. Oh, it must be at least 12 characters, so let me put some more characters in. All right. Okay, right? And I'm going to leave my account as admin, and I know my password, so allow collection of data. I'm going to say no, and then we're going to say create user. Sure, I'll save that for now so I don't have to remember it later. And here you go. You can get started, you can add environments, and you're going to be all set up here. So let's click started. And this is the normal view you're going to have right here. I'm going to dismiss some things. And basically when you go into this view, you're going to click on it, and then you're going to be able to see all of your stuff, like your containers, or for in this instance, Portainer. This looks very, very similar to the Docker Desktop we have down here, right? But this is a much easier to use GUI, in my opinion, and it does a lot, okay? Here you can see your images, you can see your networks, you can see your volumes, right? There's quite a bit you can configure. There's pre-built templates for installing things that you can just click on it and run it, and you can spin those things up. It's really, really nice. If you have multiple machines with Docker, you can put out Portainer agents, and you'll be able to access them all right here. There'll be like a list of different machines you've got. You can see some of the allocation and stuff that's on here. I just really love using Portainer, okay? Now, that being said, there is another way. Since you have Docker Desktop, there's another way to get Portainer. Now, I'm using it through my local host right here, right? at port 9000. All right. So I want to show you one more thing. There's another way you can access it, and it is because localhost is just telling your computer to go to its own IP. So if we do this, which is my IP currently, this should also launch Portainer. See? So localhost or your current IP will get you to Portainer. All right. This means you can, if you're on your home network, you can access Portainer from any computer, which is really, really nice, as long as you know the IP of the computer and the port number that your container is on. I can access it from any other computer on my home network. All right. So I'm not going to go through all things you can do in here. We will be referencing Portainer later in this course. There's tons you can do. I just want to show you how to get it set up. Now, the second way to set it up is actually quite a bit easier. Okay, so we're back here in Docker Desktop, and we can install an extension. For example, Portainer right here. And if you install Portainer, what it does is it puts in basically all the functionality of Portainer within Docker Desktop, which means you don't have to go to localhost, you don't have to go to an IP, you don't have to do any of that. You can just click right there, and you have Portainer right here running inside of Docker Desktop. Okay, and you can go in and click through all your stuff. It's the exact same thing, but it's only available from this machine versus anywhere on your network. And so it's great to have it here. I normally keep it in Docker Desktop just for quick reference, but I would much rather use the IP address and the port number to access it, is my preferred preference. So those are the two ways to get them up and running. Obviously we did it here from the PowerShell or terminal or CMD, command prompt, whatever. I'm going to show you guys a ton more about using the command we used right here, which is Docker run, Docker compose, Docker build. We're going to do all kinds of cool stuff with them. But this is just the initial process to get you one up and running, so that when we go through some of the other commands to view some really interesting stuff with inside of PowerShell, you'll be able to at least have an image up and running, and you'll be able to see what kind of data you can get from terminal on your device. But I really recommend using Portainer. I use it to manage all my images. It's quite nice, and we'll get into more detail later about this. But now you can see you've got an interface here to manage your containers. You technically can manage them from this. It's just quite a bit harder without user interface. You have to have all the commands to do it. And then obviously you also have Docker Desktop, and you can use Portainer file extension. Tons of ways to do the same thing, trying to make it as convenient and easy to understand as you can. So I'm going to wrap it up here for now on this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next ones, and we'll see you then. Root Junkie out.